Hello, everyone, and welcome to A Green World is Possible. It's an online candidate forum. I'm very happy to announce that we have some great candidates here to introduce you to. I'm just going to go around and just get everyone announce themselves, give themselves a 1 to 2 minute opening statement. Then we're going to go into a round of questions and answers, and we'll see how time works out. Maybe we'll get several questions so we find out about all these great candidates and why they're running, what inspired them to be Greens and run for office as a Green, and what they hope to do when they get elected.
Hi, James and everybody. My name is Benjamin Meiklejohn. I'm 49 years old, a Green Independent running for state representative in Maine's House District 135, which includes Bar Harbor, Lemoyne, and Mount Desert, in the lap of beautiful Acadia National Park, where everybody is an environmentalist and everybody aspires to a green ideal of living. I was first inspired into the Green Party directly, individually, and personally by Jonathan Carter, John Rensenbrink, and Pat LaMarche. I consider myself a student of the John Rensenbrink School of Ecological Politics. I've been enrolled Green since age 23 after Jonathan Carter acquired ballot status for the Maine Green Party in 1994. I was subsequently elected in 1995 to the first of two terms as president of the University of Maine Student Government. Hey, no fighting. Dogs. Technically, hey, bad time to fight. Go. Dogs getting in a fight. Sorry about that. They're little ones, so they're loud. Where was I? I was subsequently elected to president of student government in 1995, making me technically the first state-enrolled Green east of the Mississippi elected to public office after Jonathan Carter got status. Pat LaMarche regained party status for us in 1998, but because the Green Party had an injunction against its disqualification, she couldn't run as a Green to requalify us. So our new name since 1998 has been the Maine Green Independent Party, but we are a party and we are an affiliate of the Green Party of the United States. I'm currently the secretary of the Maine Green Independent Party, and from 2000 to 2004, I was the co-chair of the Maine Green Independent Party, a tenure in which John Eder was elected to the State House of Representatives. I was prior to that elected to the school board, and like Steve, I served 2 terms on the school board in Portland, the first Green elected in Portland, after which 20 more Greens won an election in Portland. So it's very exciting what happened down there. 2 years ago, I was a legislative aide for the House Green Independent Minority Office in the Maine House of Representatives for Representative Ralph Chapman. And I'll get a little bit into more about why I'm running and why I think I can win here in Maine's House District 135 later tonight. Thank you for having me, James.
And I wanted to know if you could share experiences on your current campaign, because now we're campaigning during a time of COVID. You can't. It's not as easy to go out and get out the vote and shake hands with people and all that kind of stuff and raise money the way you used to. Just want to find out how you're dealing with the current struggles with campaigning during this time. Also, along with COVID, we also have the other plague of people trying to get Donald Trump out of the office. No matter what office you're running for, they're gonna find a way that we're gonna, if you're running for dog catcher, they're like, yeah, but if we vote for you for dog catcher, Trump's gonna win. So it's just so ridiculous. People are so brainwashed right now. So just wanted to know if you could share some of your stories from the campaign trail.
So in Maine, the way COVID affected me probably most immediately, was in regards to our clean elections law. I got on the ballot. It's fairly easy to get on the ballot in Maine as a party member. A state representative is the easiest position to get on the ballot for. You just need 25 enrolled party members to sign to put you on the ballot. So I got on the ballot. I decided the week before the deadline of mid-March to get on the ballot, and successfully got on the ballot. And we have a Maine clean elections law, which allows us to, if we collect, I think it's $50 or $65 contributions from people in the district to the Clean Elections Fund, then the state finances election costs. And the Green Independent Party of Maine has always supported the clean elections law, and most of our candidates apply for it. But as soon as I got on the ballot, the pandemic hit. And without being able to go door to door and meet people in person to collect those $5 checks, it made it pretty prohibitive for me to get clean elections funding. So I am traditionally financed, and I am relying upon contributions. I've raised several $1,000s, and have a good campaign war chest here, but I do need some more to finish off my mailings to all the voters. So anybody out there that could contribute to up to a max of $400 and $50 or less, your name is not reported. Please check out my Facebook page and look there for how to contribute. And as far as my campaign goes, otherwise, I think the COVID has actually been somewhat of a good opportunity for me in one sense, because it sort of deconstructs all the traditional norms about what you're supposed to do campaigning. You know, there aren't events to go to. You don't have to drive to meetings and spend a significant amount of time at town meetings. You just log in and Zoom and stay informed that way. Without that obligation of going door to door, knocking on people's doors to meet them personally, or going to public meetings and such, it challenges the candidates to find ways to reach the voters directly. And I think that in that scenario, I think I have a little bit of an edge on my opponents, because I'm a little bit more savvy with the social media and how to find people on the internet. Now, every district is different. I've lived in districts that aren't like this, but the district I live in now happens to have a high rate of Facebook participation. So it makes it easy for me to reach people, because I can track them down on Facebook. I find them, message them, friend them. It doesn't work in all districts, because a lot of populations maybe aren't as participating in Facebook, but it's pretty high participation rate in my district. So that's helped a lot. Like other candidates have said, the social media aspect. You know, what I have going for me in my campaign, I guess one of the challenges for me is that I try to talk up my experience as a public elected official, serving 2 terms on the school board in Portland when I lived there, as well as my experience actually working in the legislature as a legislative aide. And, you know, if I was any other candidate, if I was a Democrat or Republican, people would say, oh, this guy is a really credible candidate. And so I've been trying to push the credibility of my candidacy as a reason to take it serious and really consider a vote for Ben Meiklejohn for state representative, because I do have that hurdle as a Green Independent. You have to kind of get people to overcome that that pre-existing maybe bias in their mind that, well, it's a third party, it's not a Democrat, it's not a Republican, they can't win. And I try to say, look, I'm the only person with publicly elected service and the only one that's worked in the legislature. So I try to talk those up, and then at the same time get underneath what that assumption is that people have, that a third party can't win, because I have won before. And interestingly enough, my district now is very similar demographically to Portland was when I got elected there. It's an 80%, my seat in the last 10 years generally runs, if given the choice between a Democrat or a Republican, the Democrat would get 75 to 80% of the vote and the Republican 20 to 25%. That's great for Greens. These are the safe and best districts for Greens to run in, because that 80% support for Democrat does not always necessarily mean that there is overwhelming loyal enthusiasm and support for the Democratic Party. It just means that given the choice between a Democrat and a Republican, people go with a Democrat. But so when we run, we test that formula and really call to question how much of that Democratic support is just default. It's just the default of the two. And with 20% of the vote for a Republican, a Republican candidate can't win a 3-way race with 20%. So that opens things up. it gives voters the choice. So I try to hammer that home that I can't be a spoiler. I can't split the votes. This is your chance to break away from the two parties. Everybody's frustrated with the sort of gridlock that the two parties have. And Maine has an established history, having had a House Green Independent Minority Office 3 times before. And Maine legislature could benefit by having an alternative voice in there. So I've been doing a lot of social media, and I've been speaking to issues that are really important in my district, basically highlighting the environment, Maine's environment, as our #1 asset and the #1 source of an economic stimulus for Maine's economy moving post-COVID. Our entire economy in Maine is based on environmental tourism, conservation, our agriculture, our fishing industries, our forest products industries. There's there's very little about Maine's economy that is not attached to the environment. And climate change is huge, and Maine has an opportunity to really make a difference with climate change. The University of Maine's Advanced Structures and Composite Center has engineered these floating offshore wind turbine hulls that they could predict could, within 10 years, if we installed them, we could be generating 156 gigawatts per year, which, to put that in perspective, Maine uses 3 gigawatts per year. We could be powering with clean, renewable offshore wind energy almost the entire New England region, and making $20 million of revenue for the state of Maine, which could pay for free electricity for all Maine residents, and if it was a people-owned utility. And why would we not do this? It's sitting right there. The knowledge is there. The technology is there. Our national parks raise a lot of money for the state, and we have another national monument, the Catons Woods Monument, which if we elevated that to a national park, it's predicted would raise $100 million more into Maine's economy, creating 6,000 to 10,000 more jobs within the next 10 years. That's an economic stimulus. It's our environment. That's our economic stimulus. And there's also movement afoot here in the state that I support for a green bank to solarize and create energy efficiency standards in housings, creating thousands more jobs. And if we're going to honor our commitment to reach totally clean energy use by 2050, which the legislature did pass in the last session, we need to start making access to electric vehicles and electric charging stations and building that infrastructure around the state and incentivizing the purchase and sales of electric cars. Maine could be an environmental mecca, and that is the kind of thing that people in my district really like to hear that the Democrats don't talk about. And it's a safe district, and I've got the experience and qualifications to be elected to this position, and it's a safe district. So green is not something that's a negative or a spoiler for this argument. And even though I'm traditionally funded, not clean elections funded, I've been working hard and raising the money. So if anybody out there would like to support me, please check out my Facebook page. Just look up Ben Meiklejohn, Meiklejohn, and contact me directly. I think I would appreciate the support. Thanks for having me on the show, James. I really enjoy hearing all the other candidates as well.
My apologies to everybody because I know I ran late, but you all have so much great stuff to share about your campaigns, because I've seen, like, this, for me, this feels like the most aggressive attack of Greens. It's like every 4 years, not each election cycle so much, but every 4 years, that's when everyone seems to jump on. And 2000, we saw it with all your spoilers, 2004, and then 2008, and then 16, or Russian bots, and 2020, it's like we're funded by Republicans and everything you could think of. And I think it's really important to hear your struggles and to share that with everybody. And what I want to do is sort of start winding down to a closing. So have you all sort of give a closing statement, but also talk about anything that you wanted to share that we didn't have a chance to go through during the question and answers.
The strength of our party depends upon us electing Greens to be able to make public policy, to transform public policy, to implement our values. It's my hope that in the viewing audience here or wherever this video may circulate, that there may be some people out there, Greens or otherwise, who are inspired by all the candidates we've heard tonight and inspired by what the Green Party offers as a potential for our future. And if you are one of those people that perhaps may not be able to run for office yourself, or maybe you're not activist and you can't go collect signatures for people, but you have the means to support all the candidates we have today. If you have the means to, I would ask you to please support all of the candidates that you've heard today to whatever extent you can. Getting elected is what we need to do to grow this party. So I'm hoping there's some green angels out there that can come through. In regards to my campaign, I think I have some unique circumstances in my campaign that make it the Ben Meiklejohn for State Representative campaign of national interest. The first being that Maine has set a historical precedent of seating Greens in the state legislature several times in the past, and we need to build upon that momentum and continue to put Greens in the legislature. Secondly, I'm living in a district that is enormously independent, it's enormously environmental, and it's a safe district. And thirdly, I think I've demonstrated to the voters that I'm a qualified and credible candidate with the experience to serve, as well as any Democrat or Republican could do in the same position. If you can support my campaign, please check out my Facebook page. I'll put my sign up so that you can pause the video when watching this later. And if you can contribute up to a maximum of $400, the easiest way is to PayPal benforhouse@gmail.com. That's benforhouse@gmail.com. Or you can go to my Facebook page by putting in my last name. You'll find me immediately. And there's some posts on there with some information about how to send a check or something of that nature. But I am running to win. And I'm running to serve the people in my community in the legislature to implement some policies of clean energy, environmental preservation, increasing and making greener our transportation options in the state in realistic and real ways that are possible if there is a will. The people in my district say over and over again that they feel the two parties are infrastructurally incapable of responding to the needs of people and planet at a fast enough pace to make a difference when it matters. So we got to do something about it by stop electing Democrats and Republicans. So when we have opportunities to elect Greens, we need to get together and support those Greens who are running and support their ability to get elected and do more than just, run to get a message out. So if you can support, if you're out there listening and you can support with financial contribution to any or all of us, please do. Thank you very much.
Thank you all for your time, and I really, really want to see you all get elected and in office. And like you said, it's so important to have the Green Party running for office and getting elected to help push those policies to move everything in the direction it should be, because the Democrats aren't doing it. They haven't been doing it for the last 20 years, and their only campaign platform is "we're not the Republicans," and it's just not acceptable now with the way the world is going. So thank you once again, and I hope to talk to you in person one day.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for being here. Thank you. I had a good time, and I enjoyed listening to you all, and I thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. And if we can all get to the House and get to the Senate and get to our respective office, can you imagine the change that we could make in Washington with us, the people who are on here, and Lisa Savage going to, oh my God, like I think that things could happen. Like we could do some real good in Washington as Greens. So I'm going to be, as a minister, I'm going to be praying for you and myself. And I'm just, thank you so much. It was nice meeting you all.
Good luck to everyone.
Yes, yes. Great meeting you all and hearing from you.
Thank you.
Thank you much.
Okay. See you, everyone.